You're listening to the WordPress and Tech podcast with Natalie Crow Designs and the NCD Academy, the podcast designed for non-techies in business wanting to build, improve, and maintain profitable WordPress websites without the tech overwhelm. I'm your host, Natalie Crow, creator of the NCD Academy WordPress 101 course and the NCD Tech Sessions membership. I'll be sharing with you tips, tricks, resources, and my take on WordPress from my 14 plus years industry experience as a WordPress expert. I'm a strong believer that tech is just a tool that we as business owners have access to share our message and help more people. So my goal here is to help you demystify the tech and help you make the most of your WordPress website. Let's dive in. Hey there, lovely. In today's episode, we're going to have a chat in regards to how often we should go about updating our websites. So there's a few different considerations to take in regards to going through and actually updating your website, primarily from a content point of view, but also for a security and maintenance point of view. So it's on the content front, we want to go through and be actually updating our website to ensure that it's relevant for our audience. So we want to have the website there to show the latest information in your offerings, also going through and touching on the actual products and services that you offer, making sure that this information is up to date. So when someone comes on in and wants to learn about your business, learns about what you actually offer, that the information is relevant to them. Also going through and actually making sure things like your testimonials, it's always great to have testimonials there, but if you can go through and get most recent or updated testimonials, this can be something that can be really helpful. Going back and actually looking at a perspective with some companies, some testimonials, and seeing that they're from multiple years ago doesn't necessarily speak to the work that you're currently doing, and you definitely want to be going through and doing that. You want to go through and actually demonstrate where possible examples of your work so people can get a feel for what it's like to work with you. If you're a bricks and mortar business or going through and actually offering physical products, going through and demonstrating those products is a little bit easier. But you could always go through for those that actually offer like consultation and service based provisions, examples of the work that you do. So it might be a clip from a training that you did, or some sort of offering that you have there. In my case, I do workshops and things like that, and I've got different examples like my podcast and things like that people can go on in, have a look at the type of things that I'm doing, in addition to things like the website development side of things and some maintenance and that kind of stuff. So you want to go through and actually just make sure that you've got examples of the type of work that you do, so people get a really clear idea that yes, this is what you can offer, this is who you help, and that you're definitely there for them and their needs. You want to go through most of your pages on your website or standard pages on your site don't generally require a great deal of updates. So for example, your home page, about us, the contact us page, these are pretty standard pages on every website, but going through and actually those needing to have a great deal of changes on them is not very common. You might go through and actually do an update on your home page to reflect the new sales and things like that you might have. Your About Us page, you may go through, for example, if you do some additional training and actually build up your skills, or your company now offers a certification or something like that, you might go through and update that, or you've hit a new income level, things like that. Where you're offering different some target market or audience of the information that's going to be beneficial to them. So you may go and update that. Your contact us page for the little things like going through, if you change locations, contact details, you'll make those changes. The biggest and most common way that I encourage my clients to go through and actually look at in terms of actually creating new content is to consider blogging for their website. And I will do a whole podcast in regards to blogging, because blogging is super helpful. But blogging itself is a contraction of the two words web and log. So blog. It's basically, if you think of it like a diary for your business, or a means of actually creating like articles that you can actually go through and share with your audience in relation to a range of different things. It's specific to what you want your website to go through and actually reflect. So I'll talk a little bit more in regards to that as we move on. But the next point in my focus here is consistency. Whatever you choose to do in terms of actually going through and offering content, you want to go through and actually ideally update or add new content to your website at least once a month. Whatever you choose to do, so if it's not going to be once a month, or you want to do weekly or fortnightly or whatever it is, do it consistently. The reason why we encourage you to go through and do it consistently is you want to create some sort of expectation. So by making frequent changes to your website, or not frequent changes, but going through and actually offering changes to your website, you're benefiting two elements. One, the search engines appreciate the fact that you've got new content to share, and you're obviously keeping your content up to date. But two, it gives your audience a reason to come back, and we definitely want our audience to be coming back to our website to either engage in other services or products, going through and seeing what we're up to, and also getting general information about the different things that we're moving forward to do. So over time, once you've actually started creating that expectation, everything that you're doing in terms of writing blog content will continue to compile and stack. Creating new content builds a library of information on your website. It also gives you an opportunity to consistently position yourself as an expert. There's ways that we can go about it so that you don't necessarily have to be permanently glued to your website all the time, for example, batching content. And the biggest thing here, even if you go through a period of time where you definitely go through and create new content and do it consistently and you fall off the horse, the big thing is to get back up and do it again. Don't beat yourself up too much. There's been periods of time where I go through and actually create bulk content and actually schedule that out. So I prefer to actually do that, going through and actually batching a lot of my content and actually having it distributed periodically after the fact. You can definitely do that as well to make it easier for yourself to go through and actually keep consistent, or at least appear that you're being consistent. You want to give that consistency feel for both the search engines and your users, and also gives them more of a focus as to why they want to come back, because there's something new for them to explore. In terms of that, we want to look at our re-engagement. So writing regular content for your audience, is great for your search engines. So gives the search engines a reason to actually index you further, can help with your ranking factors and that kind of thing. It's great for getting your audience back into your site, draws prospects back to the site. You can share new content in other locations. So for example, if you write a blog post, you can go and share that on social media. You can include that in your email newsletters. If you've got an in-store or a bricks and mortar business, you can actually share information about we've got a new post, check out the website. It brings new prospects into your website from the search. So for example, you write a blog post in regards to, so for example, one of the common ones that I get is how much is it going to cost to get a WordPress website built? So creating an article in regards to the cost of a WordPress website. There's a good chance that there's other people out there that are going to go to the search engines and look for that as well. So it's bringing new prospects from the search engines into my business. And there's lots of ways that I can reuse that content. For example, I'm reusing elements of it here in the podcast. You can definitely go through and actually not necessarily have to go and reinvent the wheel in terms of your content, but there are other ways to repurpose it. And the other thing that I get, someone's already written about that. It doesn't matter that someone else has already written about that content. Your audience want to hear it from you in the way that you actually explain it, in the way that you actually speak, in your terminology, etc. They building a no lack and trust factor, but they want to hear it from you. So no matter how many other articles there are on the particular subject, if your audience can come on in and go, okay, I trust you to actually go through and help me with X, Y, and Z, and you've got the information on your website, it'll help you there as well. So beyond content, what are the other things that we actually go through and want to look at in terms of keeping your website up to date, aside from at least writing monthly content? We want to go through and ensure your system's up to date. So you want to go through, particularly with WordPress, you definitely want to be going through and doing regular updates, or regular backups primarily, and then your regular updates. You want to go through and make sure that you've got your actual WordPress security up to date. You want to make sure that you've got hack prevention in place. You're doing the actual core WordPress updates and updating any of the actual plugins, themes, and translations for the various things that you've added to your website that didn't actually natively come with WordPress. So making sure that you've got all these in place will be super beneficial for you long term. And I will talk to you guys in future future podcasts in regards to backing up and updating your WordPress website, because I can see so many people go through the same sort of things in terms of the mistakes that they make, and the type of things that you should be taking into consideration. I've also got the WordPress Site Saver bundle, which is a program on my NCD Academy. Goes through and it's actually a video training course, and it takes you through step by step in regards to the things you should take into consideration for hack prevention, how often you should be doing your backups, what you should do, how you do hosting backups, how you actually reinstate your site if you need to, and how you go about actually taking all the steps that I have over the last 14 years to go through and actually do my backups. and updates, making sure that I tick all the boxes and make sure that I'm actually securing the site, ensuring that there's no actual problems with the site during the process, and the things that I do when I do some client maintenance. As a WordPress website owner, those two tasks, writing new content for your website, keeping that up to date, and making sure that you're taking care of the actual system that runs your website, doing your backups, and doing the actual updates related to WordPress and the plugins and themes. These are the two primary tasks that you'll have. But if you can learn to actually master those, taking care of your WordPress website, making sure that it's update is super easy. But yeah, I hope that helps, my lovelies, and I will see you in the next episode. You've been listening to the WordPress and Tech podcast with Natalie Crow. I'd love for you to go through and subscribe so you don't miss any of our next episodes. Also head over to ncdacademy.com.au/podcast for all of our free resources and tools and tips.